Best idea wins. Anson Mount and Star Trek EP explain why Pike is a great captain in Strange New Worlds. In the crowded constellation of Star Trek captains, Captain Christopher Pike shines not because he is the flashiest or most unpredictable, but because he embodies a kind of quiet brilliance that makes the bridge of the Enterprise a laboratory for ideas. In a recent interview, Anson Mount, who brings Pike to life in Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, and showrunner Akiva Goldsman unpacked exactly why Pike resonates with audiences and why, in many ways, he is the embodiment of Starfleet's highest ideals. Their answer? Simplicity, respect, and a firm belief that the best idea, not the loudest voice, should always win. Mount, whose portrayal has drawn comparisons to both William Shatner and Patrick Stewart, emphasizes that Pike is the kind of captain who inspires loyalty through intelligence and empathy rather than sheer force of personality. Pike trusts his crew, Mount says. He really believes that every officer has something valuable to contribute. If someone has an idea that's better than his, he wants to hear it. That's a rare quality in any leader, fictional or real. This philosophy underpins much of the series' dynamic. While the Enterprise crew faces high-stakes missions, the tension is rarely about who's the strongest. It's about whose plan is the smartest. Goldsman expands on this idea by framing Pike's leadership as a kind of ethical experiment. A lot of Star Trek captains are heroic in very visible ways. Kirk is bold and daring. Picard is morally unshakable, he explains. Pike is quieter, more reflective. He doesn't need to command attention because he commands respect. The brilliance of his approach is that he elevates the collective intelligence of the crew. He's not looking for yes men. He's looking for the best idea. This philosophy manifests in subtle but powerful ways. In one episode, a crisis aboard the Enterprise calls for a solution that none of the traditional protocols can solve. Pike listens, asks questions, encourages debate, and ultimately lets the crew arrive at a solution together. The audience sees that Pike's heroism isn't in performing a dramatic rescue. It's in fostering an environment where brilliance can emerge organically. It's a kind of leadership that mirrors real-world high-performing teams, where psychological safety and mutual respect often matter more than hierarchy. Anson Mount describes Pike's moral clarity as another cornerstone of his appeal. Pike is brave, Mount notes, but he's not reckless. He weighs the consequences. He's principled, yes, but he's also flexible enough to adapt when a better approach emerges. That balance between courage and humility is what makes him compelling. You feel like the universe is a little safer with him in command, not because he's invincible, but because he chooses wisely. Interestingly, Goldsman points out that this approach also allows the show to explore more complex narratives than a traditional episodic Star Trek formula might permit. When you have a captain who genuinely values input from others, you can build stories that are multi-layered and collaborative, he says. It's not Pike versus the universe. It's Pike guiding a team through a universe full of problems. That changes the storytelling dynamic and makes every success feel earned by the crew, not just the captain. For Mount, this also translates into a performance challenge and a joy. Playing Pike isn't about dramatic outbursts or big monologues, he explains. It's about listening. It's about being present, even in silence. And the audience can sense that. People respond to authenticity and respect. Pike gives that, and it makes you want to follow him. The best idea wins philosophy extends beyond just narrative mechanics. It's part of the ethical DNA of the show. Strange New Worlds emphasizes collaboration and problem-solving over brute force. Pike embodies the ideal that leadership is not about dominating a conversation, but enabling the right solution to surface, even if it comes from someone junior or unexpected. It's a subtle form of heroism that rewards patience, insight, and trust in others. Mount also highlights the way Pike's approach influences the actors around him. The beauty of this role is that it creates a ripple effect, he says. When the captain trusts his crew, the actors can explore the full depth of their characters. You see officers who are empowered to take initiative, challenge assumptions, and grow. That's rare in a lot of shows, and it's very Star Trek. Ultimately, Pike succeeds as a captain not because of flashy tactics or dramatic heroics, but because he embodies the Starfleet ideal that leadership is an exercise in service, humility, and intelligence. The Enterprise under Pike's command is a place where ideas matter more than ego, where collaboration outweighs hierarchy, and where courage is measured not just by actions, but by integrity. It's a philosophy that resonates today perhaps more than ever. In a world full of loud voices, the true leaders are the ones who create space for the best ideas to flourish. and for strange new worlds. Inspiring. In the end, as Mount and Goldsman agree,